Your boy Titan's got a fresh new haircut! What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode here at the Game Nights. Titan here, of course, coming at you guys with another hot and spicy video for this week. And this week, guys, I'm coming at you with the Cyber Dragon deck profile. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the ABC deck profile I did some time ago, but this is just going to be an updated, just pure Cyber Dragons list. RIP Union Carrier. So I hope that you guys really enjoyed the video. Before we get into it though, I would once again like to thank and congratulate our contest winner, Dylan Pickett. He actually just sent us a picture of him repping the shirt and the card at his locals. So here is the picture, guys. We super appreciate Dylan Pickett allowing us to have the picture in the video. I really hope that you're enjoying that fresh Game Nights swag. Alrighty guys, before we get into the video, make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Make sure that you smash the notification bell so that you're always notified from when we do new uploads. And also hit us up on Facebook too. We definitely post on there as well. Another great way to stay notified. I do sometimes like to drop little teasers, so definitely check us out there. And yeah, guys, also share the video. We always appreciate you guys sharing the video. Definitely gets the word out there, and it helps the channel. So anyways, guys, let's get right on into the video. Into the cyber world we go. Alrighty guys, so let's get going with this Cyber Dragon deck profile. So to start things off, we have, of course, 3 of the OG Cyber Dragon. So we play 3 copies of this guy. You unfortunately need to play 3 copies of this guy. He is a little bit of a brick. However, you do need him to make any of your rank 5 plays. And of course, don't forget that this guy does have a nice special summoning effect that if your opponent has a monster and you don't, you can go ahead and special summon him. I sometimes forget that. But yeah, so definitely need to play 3 of it, as of course it does also work really well with your machine dupe play, which I'll explain later. Then we play 3 copies of the Cyber Dragon Core. So this card is going to be the most important normal summon that you have in the deck. Basically, when this guy is normal summoned, you can go ahead and add yourself any cyber spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. So that's really nice. You can go ahead and add your Cyber Emergency, your Cyber Repair Plant, or your Cybernetic Overflow. It does also have a really nice graveyard effect that when you have, say if it's in the graveyard and your opponent has a monster and you don't, you can go ahead and banish this card and special summon another Cyber Dragon straight from the deck. So that's a really nice play if you're trying to make a recovery play, or even if you're just like trying to start plays, just going second is a really nice effect. So I definitely would play no less than 3 of the core. Then we have 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Hers. Definitely also another crucial card to the deck. Basically, when this card is sent to the graveyard in any way, he goes ahead and adds you a OG Cyber Dragon from the deck. However, if you are adding from the graveyard, because all of the other smaller Cyber Dragons do also count as the OG Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, you can go ahead and add them as well if you want. So say you have like a core in the graveyard you want to get back, and this guy gets sent to the graveyard, you can go ahead and add the core back because he still counts as Cyber Dragon. Does also have a secondary effect where if he's special summoned, it will also count as a level 5. Doesn't come up that often. It does just kind of help make some of your rank 5 plays, but honestly, just that discard effect to be able to search you that Cyber Dragon is the more crucial part to this card. But yeah, definitely need to play no less than 3. Then I play 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Naxter. This card is an excellent target to special off of the core effect, that graveyard effect from core, if you happen to have already like some stuff in the graveyard. So what this card does is that it's a nice, easy special summon. You can go ahead and discard any other monster from your hand to go ahead and special summon this guy. So really nice special summoning effect. And also, when this guy is normal or special summoned, you do have the ability to target one machine monster with 2100 attack or defense in the graveyard and special summon it. So that is really nice just to be able to extend. Keep in mind that when you use that effect, it does lock you into machines. So if there was some things that you wanted to make that weren't machines, do that first before you go ahead and play the Naxter. So I think 2 is more than fine. Then I do play the 1 copy of the Cyber Dragon Veer. This card is still really nice, easy special summon if you happen to normal or special any of your other Cyber Dragons. This guy comes out onto the board as well. Basically what this card is here for is just, it's nice to have just another body on board to be able to, like, say, make your Seeger. Just because, just having the 1 infinity just isn't enough. it can easily get run over just because the attack power isn't there. So just using the Veer just to kind of have that extra body to maybe go into that Seeger just to kind of help the Infinity, you know, just die from battle is kind of crucial. So that's why I still play the 1 Veer. Then I do play 2 copies of Galaxy Soldier. This card is fantastic, guys. This card is basically what helps you turbo your rank 5 plays. So what this card does is that you can go ahead and send one other light monster in your hand to the graveyard to be able to special summon this card, and then it does add your second copy of the Galaxy Soldier. So the best interaction in this deck is if you have hers in the hand and your Galaxy Soldier, of course, you can go ahead and pitch the hers from the hand and then special this guy. Then that will also trigger the hers and this card. So you can go ahead and add 2 cards. You can go ahead and add your OG Cyber Dragon and then the second copy of the Galaxy Soldier. So that's really nice because now you instantly have fodder for that second Galaxy Soldier. You can go ahead and just pitch that OG Cyber Dragon. So you instantly have 2 level 5s on the board, and you can instantly go into your Nova and then Infinity. Then just some cards to help go second, because this deck is really good at going second and OTKing. We have 2 copies of Nibiru. Of course, don't really need to explain too much about Nibiru. Everybody knows what Nibiru does. It's an absolute blowout card, just tributes the whole board. Also keep in mind, guys, it's really important. This guy is also a light. So if you happen to be going first and this card just kind of bricks you a little bit, but you did open your Galaxy Soldier or a way to get to Galaxy Soldier, you can just go ahead and just send the Nibiru to be able to activate its effect. So that's nice. Then I also play 1 copy of Yugioh, the Star Destroyer Kaiju. This card is really nice because this card is actually searchable. So if you're playing a deck that does put out some cards that say are like non-targetable, like Dragoon, then you can just go ahead and use the Yugioh to get over. You can just sack the Dragoon. Really nice. So yeah, so just the 1 copy is more than fine. If you see it, you see it. Cool. If you don't, you don't. It is searchable if you absolutely need it. All right. And then for the last monsters that I have in the deck is, of course, the most, you know, self-explanatory, is going to be the 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Don't really, like I said, don't really need to explain too much what Ash does. It's literally the best generic hand trap, just hits the most things in the metagame. You could play 2 if you want, just to fit in some other things, but honestly, I just felt 3 was the most optimal. Alrighty, guys, so that is it for all of the monsters. Before I get into the spells, I will, of course, remind you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure that you're smashing that notification bell, making sure that you're always notified on what your game nights are doing. But yeah, guys, and of course we do appreciate any of the support that we get, and also share the video, guys. That also really helps too. So going on into the spells, I have 3 copies of Cyber Emergency. So Cyber Emergency is really important. This is just one of your best consistency cards. It basically is going to add you your core majority of the time, because core basically just kind of gets everything going. It adds you anything else that you would need in the hand. So definitely no less than 3 Cyber Emergency. It can add you any of the other Cyber Dragons as well. Another nice little thing to remember too is if you happen to get like ashed on this, you can go ahead and discard another card in your hand if you want, just so you can add this card back to your hand from the graveyard so that you can use it for next turn. All right, so then next I play the 1 copy of the Cyber Repair Plant. So Cyber Repair Plant, you only need to play 1 copy of it. You don't need to play multiples just because this card is searchable. It is generally searched off of the core. And that's also another reason why you only play, say, like 2 copies of Galaxy Soldier or 1 copy of the Yugioh, because this card can actually search it. So the way that this card works is that you do have to have a Cyber Dragon in the graveyard first before you can trigger it, but that's fairly easy. Typically, you just link away whichever like Cyber Dragon you normal summon. Like typically, if you normal summon the core, just link it away into, say, All Mirage, and there you go. Now this card's live. If you happen to have 3 or more in your graveyard, you can actually target one of those machine monsters in your graveyard and shuffle it back to the deck. Doesn't come up too often, but it is there. All right, then, so just to help with some consistency, guys, I play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. I will have my editor kind of maybe show you guys some alternatives that you could play in the deck, just to kind of fill out the deck, because I know that this is expensive, but this card, guys, is absolutely phenomenal in this deck. There is no card in this deck that really conflicts with Prosperity, because Prosperity stops you from drawing after you use it. There is nothing in this deck that draws. The only thing that this deck does is add, and Prosperity does not stop you from adding. So really the idea with Prosperity is that you just want to dig deeper into the deck just so that you can see some cards that will help you either A, break the board, or B, make sure that you can maybe add some additional interruption for your going first board. So that's why Prosperity is super duper fantastic, and there's lots of targets in the extra deck that you are okay with banishing, just depending on if you're going first or second. So that's why Prosperity is just really, really fantastic in this deck. I definitely would play 3, no less than 3 3 if you guys have access to it. All right, then next I play one of the most bonkers card in this deck, and that's 3 copies of Machine Duplication. Guys, Machine Duplication's absolutely insane. Basically, you just target one machine type monster with a 500 or less attack, and you special summon 2 monsters with the same exact name. And that is beautiful because every single one of the baby Cyber Dragons count as the OG Cyber Dragon when they're on the field. So you happen to have any of those Cyber Dragons on the field, Machine Dupe, cool. You get to special summon 2 other level 5s, and it instantly gets you into a rank 5 play. So this card is absolutely bonkers, guys. I would play no less than 3 Machine Dupe ever. Then I also play 2 copies of Overload Fusion. This card just helps you go into some of your Chimera Tech fusions, like your Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, and also your, like say, Chimera Tech Over Dragon as well is another card you could go into. Just a card that gets really big. So I'll play 2 copies of this. You don't need to play 3, and 1 isn't quite good enough. You do definitely sometimes want to see this card because Rampage is a level 5 and it does just kind of help you do some more things, just kind of fuel your graveyard as well. I don't play Verte in this build, so that's another reason why I play more than just the 1, but I think 2 is more than fine. All right, and then just for Monster Reborn, I have Cyber Rev System, pretty self-explanatory, just special summon the Cyber Dragon from the hand or graveyard. The hand part's actually really nice, so definitely 1 is more than fine. Then 1 copy of Instant Fusion. You do have a couple of great Instant Fusion targets. 1 target's really good for going first, 1 target's really good for going second. I will show those later. Then I have 1 copy of Foolish Burial. You're probably wondering why this card is in here, but like I said earlier in the video, Core does have a neat little effect that if your opponent happens to have a monster on the board and you don't, you can go ahead and banish the core and then special summon a Cyber Dragon straight from the deck. So you can go ahead and just use Foolish Burial, dump the core, and then you can kind of go off from there. So that's why I do play the 1 Foolish Burial. And also if you want to dump, like even say the OG Cyber and you have Naxter and you want to trigger off Naxter, you can do that as well. Then just for some main deck back row hate, I do play 1 copy of the Harpy's Feather Duster. There are still going to be your back row decks and some decks that will try to lock you out using the back row. So I would like to be able to just have, you know, a main deck out to that. So that's why I play the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Then I also play 1 copy of Cyberload Fusion. This card typically is only in here just for maybe some extra like battle phase damage because it is a quick play. Say you have some Cyber Dragons, you know, banished or just like face up on the field that you could turn into like Wind Dragon or just another fusion to just kind of help you deal some more damage and maybe OTK. Then that's what this card is really great for. That's why you only need to play the 1. It's not that great, but it is definitely nice for just getting out an extra fusion when you're just trying to push for some more damage. Then I also play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplets, guys. So this card is another one where I will have my editor just kind of show some alternatives. Probably the best alternative for this card is definitely going to be Impermanence. You don't absolutely need to play Droplet just because Droplet typically is a fairly costly card. However, there are some cards that you are not going to mind discarding. Ergo, going to be Cyber Dragon Hers is a great target for Droplet because once you send the Hers, you can just go ahead and add like a Cyber Dragon. This is just in here because there's just so many different crazy shenanigans going on in today's metagame, especially right now. A lot of combo decks that can make Dragoon are an issue for this deck, so this card is what basically is going to deal with that, and because you do like to go second, you know what I mean, this card works more than fine within this deck. I would play no less than 3. In my personal opinion, you could obviously get away with 2, but like I said, if you don't have access to the Droplet, then Impermanence I feel like would be more than fine. Alright guys, so for the last 2 cards of the deck, I play 2 copies of Cybernetic Overflow. This card is fantastic, guys. I really love this card going second. This is just one of the extra cards that I typically do like to dig for going first, because if I set up a board with my Almirage, my Cyber Dragon Infinity, and maybe say even a Pallades, and then I can have the Overflow with it, my gosh, guys, that is going to be a first turn board that a lot of opponents are not going to be able to get through just because I'll have so many different types of interruption. I have the Almirage to make sure that Infinity isn't going to just randomly die from like a lightning storm, and then I have the Overflow just to pop multiple cards that are non-targeting pops or destructions, mind you. So that's why this card is fantastic. You could also play Network, but I really liked Overflow. I just felt like it was a little bit more impactful. Alrighty guys, that is it for the main deck. Let's go off into the extra deck real quick. So I play 1 copy of Almirage and 1 copy of Link Haribo. These are going to be your 2 Link ones that you're going to mostly go into. Typically, it's always going to be the Almirage over the Link Haribo, honestly. But Link Haribo is here just so that if you need to get that level 1 monster into the graveyard, then he's here. Then I play 1 copy of the Cyber Dragon Seeger. Like I mentioned earlier, just having 1 Infinity sometimes just isn't going to be quite enough. It is a card that is easily, get overable just you know, if they are able to make a card that is that 3000 attack, you know, they can just run over the Infinity, and then that deals with that problem. With the Seeger, what this guy does is that if nobody has battled yet, he can go ahead and target one of your monsters that has 2100 or more attack, and then add 2100 attack to it. So that's why this card is really good, to just kind of beef up your Infinity, just to make sure that it doesn't get, you know, easily run over. Then I also play one copy of Phoenix, just another way to deal with back row stuff. You know, don't really need to explain too much why Phoenix is in there. I do prefer Phoenix over Cerberus, but you could play Cerberus if you want. Then for my fusions, I have the Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon, and then the Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. Rampage, like I said, is what's going to be summoned off of your Overload fusion. What he does is that when he's on the board, you can go ahead and activate the effect to dump 2 machine monsters straight from the deck to the graveyard, and then he can attack that many more times. So if you happen to have, like, say you're going second, you have Seeger and him, he can just do a whole bunch of damage and like smack 3 times. So that's really nice. And of course, he's a level 5, so he helps with your level 5 plays, your rank 5 plays. And then the Mega Fleet is really nice if you're going up against any sort of deck that really abuses its links, say like Dragon Link and stuff like that. You can just link away like an Apollosa, or if you're playing PK, you can link away that Bardiche, you know, go directly into Mega Fleet. So that's really nice. Then I have Cyber Twin Dragon, and then Chimera Tech Over Dragon. Chimera Tech Over Dragon is another card that you can summon off of the Overload fusion if you want. And then the Cyber Twin Dragon, it's something that can come up if you use Cyberload Fusion. Because that doesn't come up too often, like I said, these cards are typically really, really nice targets for your Pot of Prosperity. Then for my instant fusion targets, I have the Millennium Eyes Restrict for going second, and then the Panzer Dragon for going first. So of course, yeah, your Millennium Eyes can just go ahead and target something that's on the field or in the graveyard as a quick effect, and then attach it as an equipped card. So that's really nice. So if your opponent tries to do some graveyard shenanigans, you can go ahead and just equip it with this card. So that's really nice. You can even use this thing going first, I guess, because since it is a quick effect, it is just maybe another form of interruption. And then Panzer Dragon's in here just because it's really nice if you're trying to make those rank 5 plays and you just need another level 5 on the board. You just go into Panzer Dragon. And that's it for the fusion. And then now going into my Xyz monsters, I play 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Nova. And then of course, to pair with the Nova, I have the 2 copies of the Cyber Dragon Infinity. So obviously these cards are kind of like your main boss monsters of the deck. You know, going first, you always want to try to make sure that you have an Infinity set up. You won't always need to go into 2 like in any duel typically, so that's why it's okay to maybe say banish a pair of them off of the Prosperity. Always a more than fine interaction there. Just letting you know, guys, in my last video, in my Cyber ABC video, I did mention that I can end my board with 2 Infinities on the first turn. That is a illegal play.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch!
Some builds you don't see 2 Nova, 2 Infinity anymore. But honestly, I decided to go with it because the combo that I can do in my deck is that I can typically end off on 2 Infinities. That is an illegal play, guys. You cannot do that. You can only summon 1 Cyber Dragon Infinity per turn, so you can only make the 1. So that second rank 5 will have to be the Pallades. And then for the last Xyz monsters that I play is the Constellar Pallades. Another nice rank 5 that you can play. Just has a nice little quick effect interruption to target a card on the field and shuffle it back to the hand. So yeah, guys, that is it for the extra deck. Alrighty, guys, I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed me breaking down the deck for you guys. I will be doing a test hand video next week as well. I'm gonna start doing these a little bit more with some of these combo decks, just because sometimes it's hard for me to just kind of decipher some combos without really copying pretty much everyone else that's already done that. So I'm just gonna do some test hands just so that you can kind of see some consistency. So definitely stay tuned for that. And also stay tuned for when the new Cyber Dark support comes out, because I will definitely be doing a deck profile with that new support, guys. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I hope that you guys stay safe. And this is Titan signing out until our next upload. Deuces, guys.